It is late at night here in Southern California, and I feel compelled to say a few words about the subject that I'm going to share with you because it's something that's on my mind, and I feel that on this channel and maybe another one, that I reserve the right to say what I feel. And you folks out there can either agree or disagree with me. I can say that as a man, a what society calls a cisgendered male, I have been perceived as, in some circles, a monster, an unfeeling brute that doesn't care about women, that really doesn't care about anyone, and just steps over, has no feelings, disregard, part of the evil patriarchy, all those little buzzwords that are being mentioned about people like myself in this society, this ever changing society. And I can tell you, for someone who's grown up very shy, quiet, doesn't say much, very respectful to people that I meet, very easygoing, can hold a conversation, at times could not even find someone to have a conversation with, just a meaningful conversation. Married, have a wife who supports the things I do, including my writing career, all that. I can tell you that as a man, I would maybe feel under assault, feel as if I have no place in this ever changing society. But I don't think that is true. I still feel no matter what society is advocating these days, as far as gender issues and all the rest, the search for identity, that there's still a need for men like myself to exist. Men like myself to just say, hey, we belong in this world too. Because you may not believe biblically, but we were here first, and not to claim it as some sort of superiority, because if you really look at the scriptures biblically, men and women are supposed to work together. Originally, that was the plan, and still is. But I can just say that as a man in the year 2024 AD, American society, or even society in general, feels as if I don't belong, if I don't have a place. But to the young people who know me only as Mr. Chapman and see me every once in a while that I appear on their campus, talk with them, get to know them, crack a joke or two that doesn't work, but really just be a good example for them and just try to show them the way. And we're talking young people. That's important, you know. If someone who's worked in education for a long time, I can tell you that the male presence is always needed, no matter what. I've been told by many teachers and administrators that it's good to have a man in the classroom, but it's good to have a man everywhere else too, in society. We can be a beneficial part of moving society along. We can, if we're really honest with ourselves, we can learn. We make mistakes, but we also learn. We can be humble. We can be willing to work in partnership together with anyone. That's what we're here for on this earth, right? Working together, coming together for a common goal, and making sure that when someone's down, we help pick them up and urge them to become better. there's no really set rules that I can share with you other than the rules that have already been out there of what a man is supposed to be. But I can tell you in my lengthy time here on this earth, I could be like my father. Very tough, very assured, and I would say confident at times. But I can also be willing to listen and understand and give advice to be a willing ear. I've gone through a lot in 6 years that really taught me a little bit about myself and the world that I live in. And in those 6 years, I've learned that it's okay. Life is just meant to be lived. And as a man, even though this world and the media and everything else tries to picture me in a light that's unfavorable, I am who the Creator made me to be. I'm the person that is willing to listen, talk, help out, do what is needed to pick someone up after a tough day, be a good husband to my wife, be a good son to my mother, and when my father was alive, be a good son to him as well. Especially when those days he was in the hospital and just needed someone to help brighten his day. I'm not saying that's what all men should do, but that's my personal story. And as a man, I'm glad to share this with you. There are other men who have different stories or the same story. All men are not in one shoe. We don't fit in one shoe. We don't fit in one category. There are some of us who are tough, demanding, ultra confident, all the things that make us who we are. And then there's some of us who hear the loud noise of the motorcycle late at night. There are those of us who are nice, maybe perhaps too nice. We listen. We tend to someone who is crying and wipe the tears from their eyes, or give them a nice hug after a long day if we know them in an intimate way. We listen. We come together. And we heal. So I just wanted to leave this with you and just say that as a man, as a male, as someone who is not abusive, I try to be not abusive, but in a way that's try to be helpful to people that I meet, including the students that I run in occasionally. Sorry. All I try to do is try to be the best person that I can be. And when I'm not, I just try again and strive to be my best to be the best person that I can be for that day. None of us are perfect. If you think that we're perfect in an imperfect world, you're sadly mistaken. None of us have reached that height, and we never will, no matter how hard we try. We just have to accept the fact that we're mortal. We live after we're born, and then we die. And then from the mouths of others, people will talk about our legacy or our time here on earth, and they will either have good things to say about us or bad things to say about us. I like to be like my father a little bit more. He was a man that I loved dearly. And the lessons I learned from him will always stay with me, no matter what. Because he was a man. Not perfect. Far from that. But what he did show me was just enough for me to understand and walk in his footsteps. And those are pretty big shoes, but as long as I'm here on this earth, I'll try those shoes and do my best to take each step the way he would like. So for those of you who are men and you're watching, you feel like society is coming down on you really hard because of who you are, don't let it affect you. Continue to be a loving father. Continue to be a loving husband. Continue to be a good teacher to your students. Continue to be an outstanding co-worker to your other co-workers. And most importantly, just be the man that the Creator made you to be. Don't worry about the evils of the patriarchy or other things that are happening in this world. We know what time it is. But it's just time for us to continue being who we are. And in this era of acceptance, even when the world doesn't accept who you are, you accept who you are. And that's all I have to say about that. Stay up and take care.